Pleased to be joined now by 5-1 atomweight Alyse Anderson. Welcome to ONE Championship. What a start it's going to be at Itsuki Hirata in the women's atomweight world Grand Prix. Everyone's looking forward to this Grand Prix a lot. I'm sure you are as well. What a way to make your debut. How's everything going and how excited are you for this one?
Training's been going really good, especially since I've been able to, have be able to train full time and completely dedicate my life to fighting instead of working part time and just taking breaks off of work. So I feel like the best version of myself as a fighter is going to show up to fight, and I'm just honored to be a part of this tournament because it's the first really atom weight tournament ever, and I feel like the best atom weights in the world are in ONE FC, so it should be an exciting tournament.
How did this signing with ONE come about?
They actually reached out to me in the end of October last year, but it wasn't about the Grand Prix. It was just about signing. But I was working as a EMT in the COVID unit, and with like the short staff and how crazy everything was, I just had to turn it down because I couldn't get the time off of work to be able to like go into a full training camp. So it wasn't until like the beginning of January where they offered the Grand Prix, and I still was like, I'm still working a full-time job. Like there's not really any MMA gyms in Michigan. So unless I can be able to train full-time, like I just can't right now. And then finally at the end of March, no, at the end of February, we like got my manager got me a contract with sponsors and everything to be able to quit my job and move to Miami and just totally dedicate myself to fighting now.
So what gym are you training at the moment?
I train at MMA Masters in Miami.
Cool. And Itsuki Hirata is a really interesting matchup because she's 21 years old, real judoka. She's finished everybody, but she's just starting out her career. She's pretty inexperienced. So how do you feel about the matchup? How did you feel when it got made? How much of a threat do you see her as?
I think that she is a really tough fighter. Again, she's just young. She hasn't been pro for that long, and ONE has done a really good job at marketing her. And when a promotion promotes someone as a superstar, it's easy for the fans to get on the bad bandwagon and see them as a superstar. So I just think that she hasn't really faced any adversity yet in a fight. So which I respect that, why she's the favorite, and people see her winning the tournament, but I just think she's already looked past me, which you know I think that I'm going to be her toughest fight yet. And i'm i I've been fighting for about 8 years with a long amateur career and a long pro career, so I just feel like my experience is going to pay off, and that's what's going to make me be successful in the fight.
People see her as the favorite, do you think? I think with Seo Ham in the tournament is, as the rising champion, she was the road champion. I think probably got to be her as the favorite. How do you feel about everyone else in the bracket? You've got Meng Bo in there as well, who's kind of in really good form, been knocking people out, and then Denise Zamboanga, who's the #1 contender. There's talent everywhere you look. Who do you see as standout for you? Who do you respect the most, and who do you think is the most talented in the whole tournament?
Well, when I said favorite, I meant favorite as in like just our matchup, because I haven't, uh, but I have seen people say that they want to see, just because she has a big fan base with ONE, like the comments and stuff is a lot like Itsuki's gonna win it all. But yeah, I definitely think, I don't know how to say her name, but the rising champ,
Yohei Ham?
yeah, I see her as a top contender. She's very tough. She's also like super experienced, and Meng Bo, who beat Zhang Wei Li, she's also going to be pretty tough. So I was happy about my first matchup just because I want to take this tournament just one fight at a time. And, someone that isn't as experienced as those other girls, less experienced than me I was definitely happy with the matchup.
So do you feel like written off a little bit early then in a way by some of the fans?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But like I understand why, because a lot of these girls have already fought and won before, and the Asian market is just different than here. And I just got to go in and make a statement and show, kind of put an end to the hype train, because one's done a good job at promoting her, and I know their job, and they've done a good job at that. I've seen people talking about Itsuki versus Stamp in the semis and the finals, and even Itsuki say how she can't wait to fight Stamp, and I'm like, man, you're just looking right past this fight, which is a mistake, because she's just 21 and a little immature, and I'm just ready to put an end to the hype train.
How do you see the fight going? You've got kind of a karate background, right? She's judo background. So do you see it as her trying to get it to the floor and you trying to strike with her?
Well, I definitely have the reach advantage with anyone in the tournament. I'm the tallest 105er, so uh, if she's gonna want to use her judo, she's gonna have to be able to get on the inside. And I know she's had success with doing that, but I'm the tallest fighter she's ever fought, and I also feel like I'm going to be the best grappler that she's fought too, because I've had submission wins as a pro and as an amateur. So um, I'm not nervous to go to the ground, but it's definitely going to be on my terms, because I'm just going to be able to keep her on the end of my punches. And I feel like when I'm able to close down her judo, she's just going to get frustrated, because she hasn't really faced that adversity in a fight before. So that's mostly how I see the fight going, is just putting the pressure on quickly, and shutting down her judo and her grappling.
Uh, we talked about how stacked this division is. Really, it's great to see, and especially having an all women's card. I think it's a massive step for the sport globally. Who really is your dream matchup in one championship? There are a lot of them. We mentioned Seohee Ham already and Mengbo, but what about Angela Lee? Do you think you're a problem for her when that time comes, if that time comes?
Yes, especially as I like develop through the tournament, because like I just became a full-time fighter like a few months ago. So like as this year goes on, and as this tournament progresses, I just see myself getting better and better, because the last 8 years, I've played college soccer while fighting amateur, gone to school, got a degree, worked as an EMT, went back to school, like, so I've always like never been able to fully commit to fighting. So to be able to be as successful as I've been, and getting this one contract with like fighting as a hobby, I just feel like now that I'm dedicated full time, I'm going to be a huge problem for the division. And that might be why I'm overlooked right now. But every fight I've had, I've just had took the leave of absence from work for like 4 or 6 weeks, and before those 4 to 6 weeks, I'm just working full time to like save up money to be able to take those like 4 6 weeks off of work just to train, so I come in out of shape. And just that is, you know all I do back home in Michigan was just some jujitsu classes here and there when I could. So that's why, like, I understand why I'm like kind of overlooked, but I just know that like once I reach my full potential, which will be at the end of this tournament, and as each fight goes on, that I'm gonna be a huge problem for any 105er, especially with my size. And you know, a lot of these girls have different backgrounds that they come in, like Muay Thai or judo, and like I started in MMA at 18 years old in 2012. Like I was a junior in high school when I didn't start like, I mean, I started karate when I was young, but like I don't really put that with MMA because, I think it gave actually like bad habits when it comes to MMA, like punching from like down here instead of like keeping your hands up and stuff. So it was a lot of stuff when I went into MMA that I had to fix from karate. So I think that it gives me the benefit that I don't from like a specific background. Like I've always trained MMA, so I'm just more comfortable wherever the fight goes and being able to implement my game plan against these other girls.